Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Smaulgld speculation series. Cryptocurrencies, are they fiat killers or strengtheners? Do privately issued cryptocurrencies threaten fiat currencies, or do they strengthen and complement fiat currencies? Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Smaulgld speculation series. The purpose of this series is to throw out ideas that are not fully thought through and to have Smaulgld subscribers comment, discuss, and debate them. Today we're going to talk about competing currencies. Now, most countries today have legal tender laws, which means in effect that the currencies that they issue must be accepted for payments of goods and services by the people in those countries. Now, many critics of legal tender laws contend that since there's no competition, government-mandated national currencies hold an undeserved monopoly position. No matter what the government does, no matter how much they print of it, whether it's unbacked, whether they raise interest rates, lower interest rates, no matter what they do to their currency, no matter how much they abuse it or don't take good care of it, that's it. That's your currency and you must use it. Now, in addition, since these national currencies today are all fiat and unbacked, traditional currencies like silver and gold may appear more appealing for those who wish to hold a form of money or currency that's not mandated by the government but desired voluntarily for its properties and use. Now, most governments view gold and silver as threats to their mandated nationally issued currencies, and many suspect as a result of that, they work to keep the prices of gold and silver down so as to undermine confidence in those assets and to establish confidence or maintain confidence in their own fiat currencies. In recent years, privately issued currencies like gold money and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, and a whole host of others have offered alternatives to those not wishing to use their country's mandated currencies and wishing to hold something that they might deem as a store of value and also as a currency. Now, competition amongst currencies. Those of you who are familiar with Friedrich Hayek, Nobel Prize economist, I think it was 1974, he argued that competition amongst currencies would be a good thing, and that private firms would issue currencies, and that through this competition the more desired currencies would become the most widely used, and the winning currency would be the most valued and would take away from the government the power to mandate what people choose to use as currency. In a sense, Hayek was advocating for the privatization of money. So through this competition you would get the best currency. Maybe it's the one that's the easiest to use, maybe it's the one that has the most intrinsic value. Doesn't matter, competition would decide that. So proponents of Hayek's competing currency theories argue that the best currency would win, and that currency at the time in 1974 or earlier would most likely take the form of gold and silver, because that's traditionally what people decided to pick, and then governments would follow that, and they would also back their currencies by gold and silver. Now, today, Hayek's proponents for competing currencies might argue that a gold or silver-backed currency, or Bitcoin or Litecoin, might win that competition to become the dominant currency if competing currencies were allowed to trade freely without government interference in the form of taxation or outright prohibition on their use. Now, let's talk about this 10x platform driven by Ethereum. In addition to gold and silver, there's about 1,000 cryptocurrencies. There's a company called 10x. They're doing an initial coin offering to fund this program, whereby it will offer a product using the Ethereum that will allow holders of the various cryptocurrencies to use those blockchain assets to purchase goods and services via service like MasterCard or Visa. If you click here, you can check out the white paper. What it does is it allows you to basically to use your crypto assets, even if they're not designed to be currencies. Like Ethereum is not really a currency, but it has a value. What this program does, it allows you to use your blockchain assets as currencies. It converts them, and then it uses a card, and they have a relationship through MasterCard or Visa, and you can spend your blockchain assets. Now, ultimately, this platform could conceivably have on it as many cryptocurrencies that exist, and users who own those cryptocurrencies using the 10x application can use them to buy goods and services. There is a YouTube down here, you could check out how the guy goes into the store and he pays with Ethereum with his 10x card. Okay, but the merchants, however, would not be accepting any of the cryptocurrencies directly, just like Coinbase. They would be receiving the amounts of their home country's fiat currencies at the exchange rate of the cryptocurrency that's presented for payment. So the 10x project appears to eliminate the confusion of Hayek's system of competing currencies, as it accepts the government mandated currency as the benchmark for all other currencies. So without a third-party clearinghouse like 10x, competing currencies were problematic because while they might circulate freely, holders of those currencies might find it difficult to use them in a universal manner, as some merchants might accept some currencies but not others. And one advantage of legal tender laws is that one's money is good anywhere. And a system of competing currencies may not necessarily lead to an easy flow of commerce, even though it would allow the market to select the best form of money. So while you have that competition in currencies, you may get the better, more valuable form of money. It still may not be accepted everywhere. Whereas legal tender laws allow people to use the money anywhere, with the downside that that money could be devalued and debased by the issuer. So what this 10x platform does is it allows for the proliferation of competing currencies, but puts them on a platform whereby they can be converted easily into the user's home currency. This, in a sense, makes any cryptocurrency more valuable, and now it can, because it can gain wider spread acceptance. So if you've got some 2 Bitcoin that's worth something, but no one really knows what it is, but there is some market for it, and it has some value. Well, at least now that value can be unlocked and spent as it's transferred into, somebody you can find someone to buy it and transfer it into the home currency. And then the cryptocurrencies then compete against each other to be more valuable. So for example, there may be a 30-to-1, 60-to-1 ratio between Bitcoin and Litecoin. And depending on how people perceive the value, the functionality of any of the coins, they will compete against each other to be valued better than the other. So that's exactly what Hayek wanted. You have these competing currencies. Developers on the crypto side would try to make their currencies faster, better, more limited, whatever they were aiming at, and that would lead to a competitive situation, and you'd get better currencies. And you'd also have people backing currencies with, if people thought that a currency was more valuable if it was backed by gold, silver, oil, work product, whatever it is, you would have that as well. And then what this platform does is allows them all to compete against each other. However, in a sense, it solidifies the fiat currencies as long as they're supported by legal tender laws, because that's what all these competing currencies are going to be converted into, at least under this platform, because universally all the stores will accept the fiat legal tender currency. And then what this platform does is allows you to spend your privately issued cryptocurrencies. So here are the questions for you. What a platform like this 10x, which is coming live, it should be live in July. The initial coin offering, I think, completes sometime in June. Would a platform like this give greater prominence and promote greater use of cryptocurrencies? That's what people want. They want greater use of cryptocurrencies. They want to take away, if you're an advocate of competing currencies, privately issued currencies, this is what you want. But if so, would those privately issued competing currencies pose a threat to fiat currencies? And you would think, sure, because now they're gaining prominence. Or, however, would the privately issued cryptocurrencies compete against each other only? Meaning they compete against each other such that they could be valued higher against the benchmark of the legal tender currency. And would such competition amongst cryptocurrencies complement and strengthen fiat currencies in that fashion, in that there's many ways to buy or sell something, but the one way you can always buy or sell something, no matter how you arrive at it, is through the legal tender government mandated currency? Or would this type of system where you can basically use your cryptocurrency, any cryptocurrency, in effect help end central banking? Your thoughts?